with me, your host, Chester. How you doing? Welcome to another extra show, another weekend, another end of the week for you, another middle of the weekend for me. How you doing? It's a bit early this week. I apologize. We're moving on from that. How are you? How have you been? How are you going? How will you be going? I am, of course, always joined by the wonderful, the effervescent, the effervescent Bejae. Hey, how you doing, Bejae?
The ever pheasant. Wow. Is
the
that
ever-
all I am to you?
You
Am
are
I
the
just a pheasant?
it's like a title. The ever pheasant.
Yeah. Hi. Hello.
Hi,
Welcome
hi.
to the stream. It's me and Chester. We're here.
Mhm.
Today, my webcam, which is not my webcam, it's Chester's, is finally. I'm just adjusting my lights. It's finally actually doing what it's supposed to, and my camera looks good. And Chester's is fine, but it's really dark because it's cloudy outside, and Chester relies on that sunshine.
I am
So, yeah.
surrounded by studio lights. What sun do I rely on?
For the background, you know, the
the
sunny
background. Yeah,
background.
it looks a bit sad without the bright background.
Ever pheasant?
The ever
Yes.
pheasant.
That's me.
Yes.
Good.
One diamond shine. Yeah,
Nice.
one dislike already. Why? Why is there one dislike? Who's watching this? BJ.
I swear it's not me. You know what? Fine, I'll dislike it. Now there's 2 dislikes. Take
No.
that. No,
My YouTube recommendations.
I'll like it. I'll like it.
Well, I was trying to say effervescent. Go.
Effervescent. Oh man, You know what? When you said it the first time, I was like, oh, it's this, and now I can't remember what the real thing is. Effervescent. Effervescent.
Effervescent. No.
We'll just go with the pheasant.
There's too much P.
Effervescent.
It's when something is bubbly, right?
Effervescent. Effervescent. That one.
There's too much P.
Effervescent. I think it's that
Effervescent. No, I did it. It's the end of it. Okay, we're never gonna get it. Anyway, welcome Mac Jameson. Welcome Diamond Shine. Thank you for joining us on this bit of a different time. I'm sure people will kind of stroll in as they work out that we're not doing this in 2 hours.
I just warned Chester, your microphone's being a little buzzy. I don't know if that's just through my headphones or if that's for the stream as well. It's okay. It's just a little bzz every now and then.
It doesn't seem to be doing
a little
it
bit,
on
guys.
my end.
Okay, it could just be through Discord. I don't know. Effervescent. Oh, effervescent.
Stop trying, BJ. Stop trying.
The bit's moved on.
Hey, what's going on? BJ's webcam. Let's check that out.
Oh my goodness, what is that, guys? Has there been a change? Is
What
it just
the
me,
hell is behind you?
or is that a giant squid behind me? Oh, let me move this massive microphone out of the way. I got a new microphone. It's very exciting. It's not my microphone, so this is technically still a temporary setup, but it's less temporary than the one I was using before, which is standing up over there in front of that door. So I've been doing some shopping, guys. It's been very exciting. I bought myself an audio interface, which is sitting just there, and I can't really show you it on camera because the lead's not quite long enough. But bought myself an audio interface, which, if you don't know, most high-quality microphones, like Chester uses and I now use for the stream, I use this kind of cable, which is called an XLR cable, and it's a professional high-quality audio cable, and you have to plug it into a special interface that processes and mixes the audio before you can send it to your computer. So I bought one of those. I haven't decided what microphone I want yet. I'm like, there's 2 that I'm tossing up between, and I can't decide yet. And I wanted to test that out to see if I like this microphone, which this is one of the ones that we use for the Dark Tides podcast. Check out Dark Tides. It's our podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts.
Dark Tides podcast.
Dark Tides podcast. Watch
Check
it.
out our Reddit
Listen to it.
/Dark Tides.
We have a Reddit r/Dark Tides.
We have a Twitter,
podcast, guys.
We have a Twitter.
We have a Twitter.
At Dark Tides Pod.
At Dark Tides Pod. It's very important, guys. Don't forget.
It's
Anyway.
sort of a pun.
It's sort of a pun. It's sort of a pun if you remember memes from when was that? 2019?
2018? I feel
don't
like
know.
it was pretty close to all the Logan Paul stuff.
I think it might have been.
Anyway, it was
Anyway.
the renaissance of memes, so to speak.
The great cleansing. If you see what I did there?
I'm
Because
switching out of your view now. I'm going back to
Oh, come on, man!
No,
I was
you
so
keep going.
close.
You keep going, man. You keep going.
So I'm borrowing one of the microphones we use for the podcast because we only use them when we record the podcast, and I'm always there when we record the podcast, so it's not really a problem if I have it. So I'm using that to test my audio interface. So hopefully my audio sounds better today. Yeah, it's good. It's a good time. I've been having some problems with getting the gain right because it's a dynamic microphone, which means it's a lot quieter than a lot of other types of microphones. So getting it loud enough is tricky,
struggle,
but if I
man.
turn it like a tiny little bit more, it's going to be way too loud. So anyway, we're working on that. But yeah, it's very exciting. I've had a lovely couple of days plugging things in and playing with audio gear.
Yeah, it's a fun time. But so let me just first I'll reply to some of the things. So Mac Jameson says, "Oh, so now we have a budget Chester, or rather another budget Chester, given the Persona gameplay."
I mean, I'm going to let you answer this because I don't know much about Persona.
Oh,
Is
you're talking about the stream, right? Yep, budget Chester. Another. Oh, you're talking about the squid, right? Okay.
Oh, right. Yeah, the squid. Hey, it's
What's
a nice squid, guys.
Isn't your squid called Hercules or something?
My squid is not called
Yeah, effervescent.
This is my squid, ever pheasant. My squid's name is Sebastian.
Sebastian, that's it.
He's
Wonderful.
lovely, and
What a boy.
joining us for the stream today. I do also have Budget BJ. He's down there.
We don't need to see that.
Yeah, I keep meaning to give the Budget BJ head back to Chester so that he can use it to put words in my mouth when I'm not on the stream. Like forgetting to put it in my car when I go to Chester's house.
Weren't you what were you directing for me to answer?
Me?
Yeah, I was supposed to answer something. It's gone. It's all gone.
Well,
oh, actually, we should probably just quickly, while we're still on your microphone thing. So
yes.
you're
Hi.
looking at
How you doing?
that's not going to be like your end goal for microphones.
No. I do really like this one, and this is a very nice microphone. However, with the gain problem that we're having, I would have to buy an extra amplifier to really get the most out of it. So I'm probably not going to get this one. I'm going to either get the Neat Worker Bee, which is a microphone that we've talked about on the podcast before. It basically looks like a bee, and that's most of the reason why I want to buy it. Or I'm looking at either that or the Blue Spark, which is a slightly smaller version of the microphone that Chester has. I bumped it. No.
I'm trying to find anything that works. Yeah, so like all that type of stuff. We've talked about that in the past, I think. The Worker Bee's kind of cool, but I mean, the Blue Sparks.
It's
a beautiful
also
microphone.
pretty nice. I also apologize that I'm looking so far away from my webcam. Normally I'm using my computer webcam, but I'm borrowing I'm borrowing so much of your gear for this stream. I'm sorry.
So good.
And it's all the way off to the side of my monitor. So maybe can I move this over?
I never look at the camera just because I don't want to look at the people watching. You disgust me. Sorry. It's not
You
true.
don't deserve.
I know. There are people out there who like that type of stuff, like getting disrespected by YouTube creators.
Who likes that?
I don't know. Markiplier's fans,
I was
apparently.
gonna say, just because he does it doesn't necessarily mean his fans like it.
Well, they deal with it. Yeah, that's okay. People don't have to like it. People can deal with it. That's
People can
different
deal
thing.
with it,
This is
okay.
my stream, man.
Can I also point out Well, I mean, you have me here every week. You can just disrespect me.
Man, I've been doing that for years. It gets boring.
You need some fresh meat.
Need
That's the
some
whole
fresh-
reason you started streaming, really.
And I talk to other people.
Like BJ's becoming like, what's the word? Tolerant to my. No, that's not the right word. Immune. He's building up a resistance to my insults.
I mean, why are words so hard today?
I have no idea.
While we're on the topic of the microphones, make sure to check out Dark Tides. So we've mentioned it before, mentioned it like a minute ago, but Dark Tides is on Instagram. Not Instagram. That's the one place it's not on. It's on Spotify. It's on iTunes. It's on Google Music. It's on Google Music, Google Podcasts. I don't know anything about Google. It's on Fireside. All those types of places. It is very good, and we've just moved to weekly. So not even bi-weekly anymore. We're on to weekly.
So now you can hear us chat about stuff twice a week. Wow, look at that.
Twice a month.
Dark Tides podcast.
Episode
It's
6.
a thing.
Right
It's
on here.
happening.
Yeah.
Actually, episode 7's out now.
I was wondering why you showed episode 6.
Where is episode 7?
So let me just because I prepared this earlier, of course.
I did. I prepared it earlier, as you can
Look
see.
here's our. You can check out Dark Tides here. So yeah, Dark Tides. It's playing audio. Don't want audio. Bad. Nice. Cool.
Very bad. Nice. Check it out. It's a fun time.
Now,
It's a
BJ,
very
transitioning back to you.
Now, Chester.
Busk for me. Yeah, fix my webcam.
All right. All right. Well, let me promote another one of our things that we've done recently. On this podcast, we often talk about books and what we're reading. And I read a lot of books in 2020, and I want to make a video about it. So I did. There's a 40-minute video, which I think is the longest video I've ever made, like personally, without, actually making a project with Chester, which was kind of scary, but we got there. That's up on the channel now. You can check it out. You don't have to watch the whole thing. I did the fancy play bar button where you can skip to the extra things, to like the different sections of the video, so you can skip through anything you're not interested in. But yeah, it's a good time. I basically just talked about every book that I read. I did a little skit with the Budget BJ head, so if you want to see a Budget BJ appearance, go for that. Yes, and I talk about and then individually talk about every book that I read as well, to give you an idea of what I thought about it. I did realize, which was quite funny, I ended up talking about the books I didn't like a lot more than the books I did like, because the books I really liked, I was like, yeah, it's great, you should read it. And then the books I didn't like, I was like, well, this was wrong and this was wrong and this didn't work, and oh, hang on, I've talked about this for like 5 minutes. I need to move on now. So that was interesting. Yes, but I just released that on the channel. That was good. Yes, it was very nice. It was very good.
I have returned.
Very good. Thank goodness.
I
running out
am
of content.
so done with this. I'm buying a video capture thing just to plug the camera into, because I'm so done with how iffy this US beta is. It's amazing that they're able to do it. It'll be great in 2 years. At the moment, it's a bit rough.
Yep.
It's like, you switched to ad?
Oh no.
So yeah, it's a very good video, BJ. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I cannot.
Did you watch the whole thing, Chester?
No.
There's also a short version on my Instagram.
Have you watched the hour and 3 minute long Persona video? Actually,
Yes.
You have. That's a bad.
Yes.
That's a bad one to bring up. I know you
It
had.
was a very bad. Of course, I watched the whole thing.
You yeah. You talked to me about it.
Yep.
We have inside jokes about it.
I got to the thick TV bit. That's
The
like most
thick
of the way
TV.
through, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Exactly.
That's in the.
Watch my damn videos, Chester.
I will watch your video.
It is very long. I intended, so when I was recording it, I was like, I know that this is not going to be like the most interesting, engaging video, but that's not the point. The point is, for people who are like, oh, you read these books, I'm interested in these two, I'm going to skip to these bits. Or for people like me who 20-minute videos are just not long enough to put on in the background while you're doing something, and I'd rather be listening to something interesting. So I've moved to listening to podcasts or watching Twitch streams because they're longer. So my idea was, for anybody who's just interested in books and they want to have something on in the background while they're working or something, that's fine. And for people who don't want that, they'll just skip through.
Mm-hmm.
That was my theory. Yes. It was good. It was good. I'm glad I got there. I didn't really mean for it to be that long, but as I was talking, I just kept coming up with things I wanted to talk about. So instead of cutting it all out, I was just like, people skip it if they don't want to watch it.
Yeah.
Which was
Nice.
very difficult for me to do because, as Chester knows, I'm a very... Like, I would rather make a 3-minute video and edit it to within an inch of its life. So it was it was a different thing for me, which I think was good. You got to branch out and try new stuff here.
You got to be a better person than you were yesterday, BJ.
You do. Speaking of, we're both branching out today because you're wearing a red shirt.
We are.
And I'm wearing a blue shirt. It's
Damn.
crazy.
Who'd have thought this would happen?
You and your blue mic and your blue headphones.
Not wearing a blue shirt, I know. It's
I
almost
know.
like blue isn't actually my favorite color.
Wow. It's almost like...
No, I
You're
like
having-
blue. Like I've branded my entire channel around blue and yellow.
Yeah, pretty much.
um,
It's almost like
mhm.
you're having a bit of an unpopular opinion.
I know. Who could have seen that coming?
Did you see what I did there?
Before we get into
Whoa.
that, I should
Damn it.
mention just quickly. I know, super quickly. So
Yep.
you know how last week, 2 weeks ago, we had Who Needs Normal on. We talked about
Yes.
that weird kid who was doing a bunch of Twitter scam stuff. So that all came to a close. I won't talk about it a lot because I don't care anymore about it really. And I know the kid feeds off people mentioning him, so I'm not going to talk about him. But I just thought I would mention it so the chat understands what's going on. The guy from that contacted me as a fake account, being like, "Oh, it's not me, guys. I'm not related to that type of thing. Or I'm only kind of related to that type of stuff." It was all rubbish. And then he joined our Discord. So if you haven't joined the Discord, Nicktoons Unite, I think it's sometimes in the description. I don't know, man. Yeah. So he joined.
Really on brand, Chester.
I
Really
know.
on brand.
So then he joined that, and I messaged our moderator, Sheriff the Great, and I was just like, "Hey man, don't really want him on there. He's not the type of person who I want on this type of thing, with the amount that he lies and makes up stuff." And he was like, "Okay, fair." I left, and then there was like this big altercation between that kid, Sheriff the Great, and Who Needs Normal, where they like accused him and like put
What
up
I love about that-
they put up like the slightest resistance to his lies, and they just like folded.
What I love about that is like you and him have been having this wonderful like mutual ecosystem, like having chats all the time, and then as soon as you leave, look what happens.
Well, I just stopped.
Well,
Like he's
You're
all-
the glue
yeah.
of this group, Chester.
Yeah, the glue for a liar.
Yep, that's not a good thing.
Yep. So there was this whole altercation. All of his lies like fell apart, and he got really, really angry. And then Sheriff kicked him out because he was just swearing up a storm at that point because he'd been kind of found out. And
Yeah,
then he
okay.
messaged me on Twitter. It was really weird. And I was just like, "Man, listen, man. I'm not, it's like I'm over this, man." And I blocked him because I was like,
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
doing this. But then I kept Toybox Games because I was like, I need proof. Like that's the only thing I need from this now is that 100% irrefutable proof that they're the same person. And I got that yesterday, where they messaged me a really angry message, and I didn't apologize, and they got even more angry and blocked me. There would not be really a reason for them to do that
If they were a different person.
if they were a different person. AKA, it's proving that it's the same person. I'm happy about that now. He's still messaging me under different accounts. Doesn't matter. I don't care. I'm not going to reply to them. But yeah, so it's done now. It's been dealt with, and now basically the entire SpongeBob Nickelodeon YouTube creator base now knows who he is and his tactics and also how badly he spells. So I don't think...
basically, he's achieved his aim and taken over the entire fan base.
Basically.
Essentially.
Everyone knows about him now. From me and my live streams. Might explain the dislike too. It probably does. It probably is. He's very bitter. But yeah. I was talking to Who Needs Normal about it, and we think, because we found Who Needs Normal, I don't know, he's a wizard. He found the guy's like original YouTube, like not the fake ones he's created, like his original YouTube, where he uploads like Minecraft videos.
I think I remember you telling me that, actually.
Yeah. I was just like, how the hell did you do that, man? You're a wizard. But yeah, I feel like he's a person who cares way too much about YouTube and being successful on YouTube, because when he got upset me, he started like making fun of my YouTube videos. I'm like, man, I make fun of my own YouTube videos as much as anybody.
Position taken.
But it's just like, I don't care. Like, like if you don't like my YouTube videos, it's not a big thing for me. But for him, it's like YouTube is so important. YouTube is so important to him that it's the only thing he can use as an insult, type of thing. Where I'm like, man, I don't. Yeah, like what?
You put effort into your videos, but you know,
like it's not who I am.
Yeah.
I'm here on a weekend.
I have a job.
I'm a part-time hero. Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, all done with now. That was a bit too much. All done with now. Happy to see it over. I stopped caring about a month ago, so it's good that it's done now. But yep. Anyway, so moving on to the main topic of today, as BJ so wonderfully segued. Thank you, BJ.
And then was cut down
aside.
In my prime. Cast aside.
Unpopular opinions. We all have them. I dislike the even concept of them, because it's a very internet idea, like the unpopular opinion type of thing. But the internet is so focused on like openness and diversity and expression, yet you can still have an unpopular opinion.
Yeah.
Like, how's that work? Like, isn't that just part of expression and part of individuality to have any type of opinion there is? But there is still a correct opinion. It's like, that is so internet. It's like, you say one thing, but you really mean, like, no, you gotta agree with me with this. If you don't like WandaVision or Mandalorian, you're out of here, man.
Yeah, maybe it's almost like diversity and expression is good, provided you're doing it in the same way everyone else is.
Yeah.
And I don't
which
mean
is not
that in
exactly
the sense
diversity.
Not being open to diversity, because I think that's a different thing.
Yeah.
And that's something
it's more
that
just
as a society we're slowly getting better at.
It's more just the mob mentality that there's a problem with.
I think that's the problem. I think it's so black and white.
It's so you either like Mandalorian or you hate it.
Yeah, or like somebody's either a good person or a horrible person because they do something wrong. That's not really how life works.
I thought it was so funny. So I was watching a video yesterday. PewDiePie is one of PewDiePie's more recent ones. So he's been getting like this minuscule amount of hate from the I'm not sure what the community's called. What are you doing, BJ? Where they don't show their face. They have like an anime face that like moves and all that stuff.
You've been doing that.
Yeah. So there's been like 5 people on Twitter who've been upset about that. And like they're like always bringing up the fact that he's a white supremacist. So it's just like
people are still doing that.
But I was just like,
oh no!
They're always bringing that up, and it's just like, man. Question: if you're using an anime face, you know, a Japanese caricature, does that? Will white supremacists do that?
Or is that appropriation?
I
mean, wow. Okay, yeah. I saw the. I think I've killed Chester.
Legendary Dragon said, "Who is too much?" Just this random guy on Twitter who's been pretending to be different companies to get attention from SpongeBob content creators, and then got called out from it and kind of explode. Yeah. So anyway, back to unpopular opinions. BJ, what's your what were you saying?
You're about to say, what's my unpopular opinion?
What's your unpopular opinion? He doesn't like Crash Bandicoot. Come on, guys, let's stone him.
All right, sure. Yep. I don't even know what that is. I think that's probably more of an unpopular opinion.
It's a remake. No, it's not a remake. It's a video game.
Wow. It's a mixtape.
It's a mixtape.
I think that is a. I feel like that's a skill, and I'm not saying it's one that I necessarily have or don't have, but I feel like it's a skill to be able to get along with and enjoy the company of people that you disagree with. And it sounds very simple in principle, but it's something that I think human beings struggle with a lot. Just being able to cope with not deciding that somebody's a horrible person because they disagree with you on something. I don't know. What do you think about that, Chester?
Well, I think I wouldn't call it specifically a skill, so to speak. I think it's just being less obsessed with yourself. That's the biggest problem with the internet is the idea, because like it comes down to the whole like unpopular opinion thing. The fact of the matter is, my opinion and your opinion doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, and no one's opinion on Twitter matters. It's like, why are you getting angry at me when your opinion doesn't matter? My opinion doesn't matter. We're just chucking words at each other. We're just chucking things at each other, none of which matters. It's like,
and none of which is even remotely definitive of who you actually are as a person.
It's like someone was like the amount of like hate comments I get, like they just roll off me for the simple reason I'm like, doesn't matter, man. Like it's like, yeah, you're angry at me, great. What's that gonna do? What's that doing to me? What's that doing? Doesn't do anything. It's meaningless type of thing. And like,
yeah,
and it comes down to a few things, because there's of course like people have value. People of course have value, and what people say does have a value. But I would argue it is valueless unless you are talking to me, like directly to me, whether on in person or just like direct message type of thing. And we're both taking the time to listen to each other. If you aren't doing that and can't do that, there is a meaningless conversation. There's no point in it in the slightest. If it's just comments and opinions, it's meaningless.
Without an actual connection to the person you're talking to.
Connection. The only way opinion has any value, I think, is in debate. On the internet, at least, is in debate.
Right. Yeah.
Because that's listening to the other person, and it has to be a good debate, not full of fallacies and arguing. Because that's just an argument. That's not even a debate. That's just an argument. 90% of the internet debates are arguments. Where there's like just talking over each other, my opinion, which is meaningless. Yeah,
because you can disagree with someone in a constructive way. Maybe is that what you're getting at? So like you could disagree with somebody either in person or maybe in a more public setting, like on the internet. You can have a difference of opinion or a disagreement, and that can be a wonderful constructive debate where you talk about the various sides of the topic, and if you can understand where the other person is coming from, which again I think that comes back to what you said about people having value. If you come from the perspective of everybody in the world has value and equal value to myself, then everybody's opinion is valid. And so if somebody's opinion that's different to mine is valid and I can understand where they're coming from, that's an opportunity to have a debate and have a discussion about something. And I think that is where you learn. And I feel like you can actually learn a lot from situations like that, provided you don't go into it with, yes, well, they're wrong because of their opinion being different, or I'm not saying I'm the best at that, but
my question is any opinion valid?
That's the question.
I would say not. I think the biggest problem with the internet is the constant teaching and enforcement of the idea that you are an absolute individual and everything you think is an original thought and is super important. In the past, like, in the past week, I have met two people who are nearly
He's seen two
identical.
people in a week, guys.
Who are nearly identical to me.
Okay.
Who do the whole filmmaking stuff, who do YouTube, as like, who, one of them was homeschooled type of thing, as well, like me, as just like, same like brashness of like opinion type of thing, and like same type of character as me. I'm just like, people have individual aspects of themselves, but with the way our systems work, everyone is funneled into particular routes. People aren't allowed to actually be individuals. We're told you're an individual, but you're not really allowed to be individual. You're shuffled into your group, and you're like, okay, stay with your group, because people like putting people in groups. That's the way things work. You're told you're an individual, but you're in a group of other people who are very, very similar to you. And there, of course, can break out of that and become something completely different, but that's extremely hard. And most people don't do that. Most people stay in their group still thinking they're an individual with a completely essential to the human continuation of thought opinion type of thing.
I mean, yes, that's absolutely true. And I think, like, in any situation where you have a very large group of people, you always find the smaller groups of people that get along and share views and things. But I think you also have to remember that every person in that group has their own unique life experiences. So even though they have a very similar, so maybe you get a group of 3 Chesters together.
Hello.
But
you're crossing beams.
It's all smoke and mirrors, I tell you. But all of those Chesters are going to have, because they're not all just you. It's not hostile takeover we're talking about here, where Chester and I play every character. You're all going to have unique experiences and things that you can draw from, and so you can still learn, even from people that are very similar to you, because you're never going to be the same, and you are all unique in some way or other. And so I think keeping that in mind in general is important. But I see what you're saying about you generally find that there are people similar to you, and then there are people more different. And I think, I think that's an important thing. And also, it's important to, I think it's really important to have a group of like-minded, similar people around you. And I think that is actually very important. And I don't necessarily mean people that look like you or whatever. It's people that understand your values or the things that you find important in life. So, for example, Chester finds his beard very important in life. I do not. As in, I do not, because I
don't like Chester's beard.
I don't like Chester's beard. You know what I mean? Like, that could be a life value, and so that's something that Chester and I have a difference on. But we also have the connection of, we like YouTube and we do a bunch of stuff together. So we're like-minded people, and we have, apart from beards, we're like-minded people, and we have no, I like it. I just can't grow one.
Finger.
And I think it's very important to gather those people around you, because those people help support you and help shape your worldview of what you think is important by meeting somebody who's like, hey, I really value making online content. And I'm like, oh, so do I. I've learned something about myself, and I've also made a connection with someone like-minded. However, I think it is also important to be able to communicate and talk with people who you're not like-minded, because I think that also is equally valuable in, and let me know what you think, but I think that's equally, or at least of some value in shaping who you are. Because if you meet someone who's like, I have no interest in creating online content, if I disagree with that, that doesn't mean that that's somebody I shouldn't talk to. That means it's somebody with a different viewpoint who I can disagree with, and I can learn about myself of like, oh, I really value this thing. And I can tell that because I'm listening to somebody who doesn't value it, and I'm not connecting with their experience because it's something I value. But you can still learn from that, and it's still valuable to learn why this person doesn't like live streaming, for example. I'm just using that as an example because that's something we're doing now. Yes. I think yes. I rambled for a bit there, but I think that's my point. It's like people who you disagree with have equal value for helping shape who you are and helping you learn than people that you do agree with. And I think it's important to have both. I think you're missing out on development of your own self development if you don't have one of those groups.
They're true points. But I would say all of that goes out the window the second you go on the internet. Because, for instance...
100%.
Like, because what you're talking about, like the whole people who are similar to you but then have different life experiences, Twitter has a word count for their tweets.
Yeah.
You can't express anything but the corest, most base concept online. Yeah. And so the idea that to bring an individuality to the internet is just about impossible.
Oh, I would 100% agree with that.
Yeah, and towards your last point, though, I think just there's nothing worse than an echo chamber. So you want people who are different from you.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're not growing.
Totally.
No one's growing. You're saying the same thing at each other. It's like Facebook groups.
Yeah. 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 Very, very important, and I think you're totally right about that. About the internet not being good for that. And I think the reason for that is the internet is not a way to get to know somebody. I think you can get to know people over messaging people, and I've met people because I've done online school, and I've met people online that I've talked to through over Instagram or Skype or Discord or whatever. I think you can 100% get to know somebody that way. It's never going to be quite the same as meeting them in person, and pretty much most of my friends that I would still call friends that I've met online, I have met in person eventually, pretty much. And I think that's really important. But you can get to know somebody online in that instance when it's like a one-to-one conversation and you're sharing your life experiences and everything and who you are. But publicly on somewhere like Twitter, it just doesn't work.
No.
Yeah,
because it kind of, I think on Twitter the problem is you get the whole thing of like this crossover between the problem with Instagram, where you're given a fake version of yourself type of thing, crossed over the fact that you have a word count. So you're trying to show your opinion in the most, well, of course I'm correct, type of way.
Yes.
While not also being able to express your whole opinion. Type of
because
thing.
you don't have the word count, and you also don't have the time to type out your whole life experience and where you're coming from, and you also probably don't want that on the internet publicly.
And it's also the fact that like Instagram, like Twitter works off like one sentence things. Like that's the only thing people want is a one sentence summary of your opinion.
Exactly, and I think that dehumanizes people because it takes away all of that fundamental stuff that does make you individual, which is not your Twitter handle or your profile picture. It's your life. And you can't express that in a sentence. It's not possible. You can know somebody for years without fully understanding who they are. And like, well, even like Chester and I, we've known each other for how long? Like 15 years, something like that?
Yeah, probably 15 years.
We're still learning stuff about each other all the time. And like we see each other pretty much every week.
Like you like bad biscuits.
Exactly. I like good biscuits, and it's not my fault that Chester doesn't agree with my superior biscuit choices, even though I'm clearly right.
They're not. They're bland. They're powdery.
That is okay. You don't need to have the sweetest, most extravagant biscuit. You're having it as a supplement to the.
I don't even need for them to be sweet. I need for them to have a texture that isn't like biting into a rock.
That is because you haven't spent time with my biscuits.
At least though, with like the ginger snap ones, the really hard ones, you're getting something out of working
That
hard.
is like biting into a rock.
But you're getting something from
Mr.
it. You're
biting
getting
into
that,
a
you're getting
rock,
that
my friend.
gingery flavor. This one, it's like, dust. Mac Jameson says, I like bland. Bland is good.
See? And if you think it's too bland, you can spread some butter on it or dip it in your tea.
Oh, so you're adding more stuff to it, BJ. Isn't that funny?
It's a platform.
Isn't that
It's
funny?
a platform for your own experience, Chester. It's not something that's predetermined by a company that's mass producing these biscuits. No, it's a framework for you to express your individual experience through the biscuit that you're eating, and we will never agree on biscuits, and that's okay.
But they are mass producing it.
Damn it! The one loophole in my plan. You see what we did there? We just spent 20 minutes talking about how to be understanding of other people's opinions, and then we threw it all out the window.
We threw it all away. Definitely wasn't a joke.
Yeah, guys.
Yeah, guys.
We were serious. We're not joking.
Yeah, there was a time when
Right?
me and BJ were in a group chat, and we made people think that we weren't friends on the group chat.
Yeah. It was
because we were like really snarky to each other. And like we're doing this, like having an argument in this group chat while also organizing a shoot together in a different group chat type of thing.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, so you bring this and you bring that, and I'll make sure I charge this stuff. And everyone's like, you guys, what's going on? Type
and
of
then
thing.
we're like roasting each other's spelling.
Yep.
Yeah, it's. I think like that kind of stuff can be fun, but I think it's important to be careful. And like, obviously, Chester and I know that it's a joke, and we get that. And if we say something that's actually offensive, then it's like, hey, no, don't do that. That was a bit much. But like, but it is important to have that understanding before you start doing that with someone, because they might get very offended.
That's also like. Oh, sorry. No,
I remember I was talking to somebody. It was a friend that I met online. I was talking to them, and I made a joke about something, and they got very offended because it was like, and I didn't. It was my fault. I didn't know them well enough to know that what I said had triggered an experience that they'd had, and so they were like genuinely upset by what I said, and I was just joking because we were friends and we were chatting, but. Like, so you got to be careful with that stuff, because I was like, oh, sorry, I didn't know that would actually be something that you would get upset by. Because
BJ, what have I told you about joking about prisoner of war camps?
Come on, man. Comedy gold. Come on.
Comedy gold. Come on. Haven't you seen Schindler's List?
The great comedy hit, Schindler's List.
Great comedy hit. I love me some black and white comedy.
We're joking.
We're joking.
That was a joke. If you couldn't tell.
Well, I was thinking, that's the perfect example of why like conversations and talking on the internet just doesn't work. Is the fact you cannot understand sarcasm, and there's an example for so much more. Yeah. And like sarcasm, jokes can all be misconstrued, but in an actual conversation, it's all
they're either
understood.
Not misconstrued, or you can very clearly see that you've upset someone, and you can apologize immediately, and it's not a problem.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be this festering, slow-growing, yeasty
hatred thing. Yeah.
Man, I woke up like 10 minutes before this stream.
Yeah, me too. And I'm the one who asked if we could do it earlier, and I was like, at about 8:10, I was like, I guess I'll have a shower.
I've been wondering if that hairnet, that like shower hair thing, is yours or your mum's. I feel like it might be yours. I must keep
It is not mine.
Must keep my head dry for stream.
Because mine is hidden in a secret location. No, I don't have one. No, that's my mother's. That is my mother's. It's because I have perfected the art of having a shower without getting my hair wet. And she has not, which is absolutely because she's not she's a weakling who doesn't understand how to shower, and it's definitely not got anything to do with the fact that her hair's longer than mine.
I used to be able to do that, but then I had a man bun.
Yeah.
So now like water hits that bit. It's very annoying.
So does that mean that then if you have it tied up when you get out of the shower and you let it go, you've just got wet hair up to here and then it's perfectly dry?
Nah, I usually don't let it out for a while.
Yeah, fair enough.
I only let it out when I go wash it. I have like long hair.
Yeah, that's fair. I think I saw you like for the first time with your hair out the other day, when we were swimming in the lake, and I was like, damn, it's longer. Wow.
It's a lot longer, yeah. Alright,
Amazing.
thanks for joining, Mac Jameson. We'll see you next time. We'll probably be finishing up in a minute anyway. Because we didn't actually really do unpopular opinions like we intended to.
No,
I think it's just 'cause the fact that I disagree with the concept of it.
It's also the fact that while the timer was counting down, Chester was like, what am I going to call this episode? And I was like, I don't know, just like unpopular opinions. I'm like, okay. And then the timer got further. I was like, wait, I wonder what he means by that. And then we were started.
Why'd you go American for me? Unpopular opinions.
Unpopular opinions. I don't know. Maybe I'm just expressing an unpopular opinion.
Anyway, guys, for whoever's still here, you should check out Dark Tides. It's on Spotify, iTunes, and Google Podcasts. There are 7 episodes up at the moment. 7 or 8? How many episodes do we have up?
7.
There are 7 episodes at the moment. We've got episode 8 will be coming out on Tuesday, and then episode 9 will be coming out the Tuesday after that. We're moving on to weekly.
My headphones.
We are moving on to. I've got it very close to my face. I'll move it back in a second.
It's okay. You got to tell the people.
Yeah. So it's coming out in weekly installments now, which is very exciting. You don't need to wait for all 2 weeks to get your live stream. Every single one. Tuesday afternoon.
Everyone.
Where's my close up? How you guys going? So stop looking at BJ. You look at me. You look at me. Okay. You check out Dark Tides.
You need to
shut it. I'm switching off BJ's microphone and I'm taking off my headphones, so I can't hear him anymore. It do be that way. Now, so listen to me. All right. I can hear him talking from my headphones that are now on my desk. Yep. I've put you back on.
Hey man.
Hey man, how you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Just been busking.
That's good.
Check out Dark Tides, everybody. Do it. Oh, hey. Hi there. Hi, it's me. Have you heard of our podcast? It's called Dark Tides. It's how long can we stretch this out for?
We're losing viewers, BJ.
Hey, have I told you about the fee? Oh, I bumped my microphone.
No, we're gonna lose more. Also, just a last bit of news before we end off for today. We're probably going to possibly be moving days for the live streams. Possibly for you in America, moving to Sunday afternoons. We'll see how we go. But yes.
Yeah, we're in the process of solidifying our work schedules and stuff, and our study schedules this year. So we're just figuring out if Saturday mornings for us is going to continue to be the best time to do the podcast, or if we're going to change that. So be aware for that.
Be aware for that, and hopefully we'll be able to get a few more people along for streams, because the purpose of this was to interview people this series, and we're nearly up to 20 episodes. We've for weekly.
Wow, we are too, man. That was damn.
That's our longest running anything.
Yeah, it really is. Longer than Dark Tides. Have you heard of Dark Tides? You should listen to it.
Check out Dark Tides. It's on Spotify, it's on iTunes, and it's on Google Podcasts and Fireside. Now, give 5 stars to on iTunes.
Please do.
We are losing viewers. We are every time we bring up Dark Tides, we lose a viewer.
You know why? It's because they've closed the stream to go and listen to Dark Tides.
Exactly, precisely.
They're doing what we told them. There's now one person watching. I don't know who you are, but hi.
Hi.
Have you heard of Dark Tides?
Have you heard of Dark Tides? You should check it out. That's one way of ending a stream, is just getting everyone to leave and then very quietly fading to black.
Yeah,
as we just talk about like Dark Tides. Have you heard of Dark Tides? As it's just like our audio gets more and more distant.
Oh no! Wait, somebody didn't like it. They've come back to the stream. There's now 3 people. Oh no!
No, they've left. No, we were still talking about Dark Tides. Remember, there's a 3-second delay.
Yes, of course, yes. Well, next week I'll just start talking about plain biscuits, and I'll bring like a bunch of different plain biscuits in, and it'll get so boring that everyone will leave. Man, as soon as I mentioned plain biscuits, we got another viewer. So
hey, oh, wait.
Hi. Do you like plain biscuits?
Do you like plain biscuits, man?
I think you do. I think you smelled the plain biscuit chatter through the internet, and you were like, "Man, I think I need to go and check out."
How long till we get like smell-o-vision?
Hopefully a long time.
Because I was like watching a binging with Babish video, and I thought I could like smell the food.
That's because
To be fair, I was also cooking.
You experience the world through food, though, Chester.
I do.
So, I think that's maybe that's what happens. It's like, you know, like we've talked about before. Like if I'm choreographing dance or whatever, like I hear a song and I see that as like movement. If you hear a song, you just like smell it as a different type of pasta.
And they're making some cashew pepe.
Eminem reminds you of bolognese.
Bolognese? Did you just
Bolognese.
say?
Whatever. I don't know, man. Plain biscuits.
Effervescent.
Let me tell you about that.
Also, one last quick thing before we finish off. New review should be out quite soon, if I ever have a chance to edit it.
Right. Yes. How are you going with that? Because I was mildly involved with this one.
I am torn, 100% torn, between doing the effects really well and just doing blocks of green text that says, spell VFX, rather than the actual spell.
Yeah.
I'm so torn, because that would fit the style so much better than just like the super realistic spell stuff, just like VFX.
You know, yeah, maybe you could do the apparate one properly, and then, for people who don't know what we're talking about, Chester's doing a review of a Harry Potter game, and we filmed a Harry Potter themed skit the other day. Yeah, that's tricky. Hey, I like the VFX idea. Maybe you could do that for the actual spell that I shoot at you.
Yeah. Anyway, you guys will probably see that in the next week or so, because I don't have anyone involved in this one, so now it's all just up to me how quickly I can do it. Means I could get it done today. Probably won't, but yeah.
Probably won't. You could do it.
Anyway, thank you everyone so much for joining us and coming along on this little brisk adventure.
Thank you. It was good.
On a summer's morn.
It was good.
While it
Summer's morn.
pours down rain outside. Yeah. We should also probably be streaming more stuff, just me, more Harry Potter stuff soon, because I've got a lot of reviews to make of Harry Potter games.
As soon as it gets budget Bejae back.
We're back into it, man. As soon as I work out how this bloody thing stop working. Also, look how much I can bend my finger.
That is not okay. You need to rub some plain biscuits on that, man. That's not good.
My middle finger. What's going on? Stop. Go back together. Go.
I can't do that.
Listen here, you boy. Listen here. Which way am I pointing? Am I pointing at him or you?
You just bend my finger backwards and point at myself.
If I point normally, like, it's fine. But as soon as I go, bam!
Wow. Can you do the thing where you, like, touch your thumb to your arm? Because I cannot. I have very inflexible wrists.
Almost. I mean, I can, like...
Alright.
I wonder if I can do it with other things. No. My arm's bent weird. My arm's, like,
just
overbent.
gives me pain if I do that.
Overbent. That's not a straight line. That's a straight line.
A little bit of hyperextension there. My elbows are not a straight line.
No,
but
they're
not because they bend. So, like, you see that? That's clearly a bent arm right there. Like, that is not straight. But it bends this way. So the joint is straight, but the angle that my forearm goes, because that's a pretty serious difference there.
It's like a right angle.
It wouldn't be a problem if it wasn't for the fact that I'm a dancer, and so having straight arms is really important. Like, I'm learning like choreography or something. I look in my mirror and I'm like, my arms look like they're bent the wrong way, and so I have to like twist them so that they look
Yep.
Anyway,
Fun times.
what
Anyway.
I'm gonna go and do now.
Oh, what are you gonna do? Have breakfast? Have
Yes.
noms?
And then I'm gonna go edit episode 8 of Dark Tides.
Damn, boy. Dark Tides?
Dark Tides.
Dark Tides. Have
We
you
got 4
checked that
people
Dark
watching, we gotta
Tides?
Cull it down. It's a podcast. We're both involved in it. You can listen to it. Come on. Somebody click off the stream. You can do it.
Someone, please.
Come on.
All
you
right.
can do
Anyway,
it.
thanks everyone so much for joining us. Thank you for coming along. We'll be back to probably more normal streams next week. Once we, because this week was pretty hectic, so I wasn't able to give enough time to planning the stream. So
Yeah,
this one was a bit.
we'll do actual good stuff.
And we will have books to chat about and stuff like that. So yeah, come along for that. Anyway, thank everyone so much for watching. And I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
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 Farewell. See you later.
Bye.
Dark Tides. Listen to it.